So I'm going to just continue soldering my snowflakes so you can see how I do that front and back. Okay. So again, I'm pretty quick, so I'm just going to flux everything. Okay, so I'll do my dots of solder. I'll work from the outside in, so I'll start tacking on the squares. So I'm going to tack everything and then start building up the solder. So I'm going to go around and, oh, I need to turn my iron back up. I had that down for tinning. There we go. Okay. And normally I'd turn on my smoke absorber fan, but so you can hear me, I've got it off. And I usually get, since I've been doing this for so long, I get headaches from the flux fumes. And it's not recommended to solder if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Okay, I got some solder in the way, so I'm going to have to get that out of the way. More flux. Solder's not quite sticking. Okay, so now that I've got everything tacked, I can start tacking the rest and building it up. And now I can, since I don't have to use my hand to hold this, I can pick up the solder and get dots off of there. And again, we want to build up those dots around both sides of the... My hands are, I have joint issues in my thumbs which make my hands shaky. And then I can hold this down to smooth this out if I want. And whenever you're smoothing anything out, the iron has to heat the solder all the way to the foil. So you can't just heat the top surface of the solder. So if I, let's see, and that's not sticking, so it means I don't have enough flux there. I have more flux here. And you can see this one's kind of lumpy, so I'm just going to get in there and heat it and then come off to the side. So I take the iron off to the side on the glass. If I lift up, sometimes it leaves a lump of solder in there. Building up the solder around the corner. Oops, I got too much in there, so I'll clean that out later when I've got the other side soldered. So I do need to flip this and solder the other side the same way as I'm doing the front here. Okay. A little more on this square there. Build that up a little. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and solder the other side. Hold my iron more flat here. The globs aren't sticking up on this side, so I should be able to do my iron parallel to the table. On the second side you get a few more bubbles. That's the flux boiling back at you. You just have to go over the bubbles till they're gone. So this is why you're wearing safety glasses, is because you can see the second side, you get a lot of splatter and you can get it in your eyes. Some bubble there. Being a stained glass person, normally I would just do it this way. Wipe my iron once in a while. So I heat the foil with the iron, and then I add solder to the iron and then let it transfer to the glass. And you just kind of learn how much solder to do. Okay, so now I can look at it, and it's there's some gunk here and there's some gunk here. It's a little uneven. Again, the way to get rid of it is gravity, so I have to let gravity pull it down. So I'm going to try and come under here with the iron. Okay. I like to go back through and I'm tilting my iron this way just to get in there so it heats both pieces of foil, but usually I'll go around and I'll try and even these off if they're really lumpy. And then I do the same on the outside. So I get in there with my tip, and sometimes you can see puckers in those that you don't want the flux to sit in there, so you want to get rid of those puckers, so I'll go in there. Usually when I have beginners make snowflakes, they usually don't quite have enough time to be this picky, but since I usually sell these, I try and be a little pickier. I'm going to flip it over and check. Sometimes you get seep-throughs. So there's one right there, it created a lump, so I'm going to, again, flatten that. So I'm checking these. There's something there. There's a little much in there, so I'm going to, again, go from underneath. And that opened that up a little bit. This is puckered under, so I'm going to add some more on the top there. Make it pucker up. Not pucker up, build up, bead up. Let's say that, bead up. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Maybe some under, there's a little, you can't see through that one, so maybe I'll go under there and try and get it with the corner of my iron. To let gravity pull it down. Okay, and then open back up. Okay, this one too, I guess I was a little messy, wasn't I? You can get liquid from the front and then from the bottom will make it easier to get out. Okay, okay, so there's that one. This is still going to be a little hot here. And we'll go on to the other one. I can use the solder from the table. So if your iron, again, isn't too hot and it's the right temperature and the tip is clean, remember you have to wipe your tip once in a while, you should be able to pick those beads up off the table and reuse them. Move that over. Again, the iron, you need to build up the solder around the corners and then build it up across the top. flux everything and tack everything. You can see I don't have to follow, the globs don't exactly have to match the size of the pattern, and they don't have to fit into the holes of the pattern. The important part is making sure the diamonds point out on the pattern. Okay, so they're all tacked. I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to use the, again, I'm going to do the stained, if you have stained glass experience, I'm going to just leave the iron tip on there so it's constantly heating the foil. Well, I add solder to the iron, and the iron transfers it to the foil. This is a little faster than the dot method when you're doing these. And you can end up adding too much solder, and then you have to, like I said, try and get rid of it using gravity. So let me unwind this, and again, every time I put the iron away and pick it up, I wipe it once on each side. If you're having trouble getting the solder to stick to the iron, then again, you need to wipe it once on each side. Your tip might be old. If it's corroded, the solder won't stick to it. Okay, let's flip it and do the other side. Again, you can do dots. If I do dots, I can hold the iron flat. You're getting bubbles, the flux boils, and on the first side the flux boiled out the back side. But on the second side it's getting trapped by the solder on the front side. So there's something to clean up there. And again, you want the solder mounded up to be strong enough. You want the solder to go around the corners to be strong enough. Again, I'm grabbing those dots of solder with the side of the iron. I'm not taking it with the tip, which can make it hard. You won't get enough solder. Again, wipe the iron once on each side. I'm just going to do my stained glass experience and just fill this in like this. Drag my iron off to the side when I'm done. It's like I know how hot I want to get it. I want the iron to heat all the way to the foil, so that's why I'm letting this one get lumpy. So again, what I'm going to do is go in there with my tip, and I'm going to let the iron sink to the foil, And so I need to move the iron slow enough that it heats the solder all the way to the foil, and you can see now it comes out smoother. And once I get it all liquid, I can go over all of it at once and then off to the side. So now it's liquid. I can go back and forth so it all looks nice together, off to the side with my iron. I like to do a come off to the side in an L from the solder joint. Okay, so we'll get this last one. Okay, we're all set. We'll move on to the next video, and I'll show you how to put the hooks on and how to clean it.